Hi, welcome to this Blender video tutorial entitled Opening, Saving, and Auto-Saving Files. The native file used in Blender is called a blend file. Blend files carry the file extension .blend. Now you can open a new .blend file by clicking on the File button on the Information Editor header and selecting New. The Blender keyboard shortcut for opening a new file is Command-N, or on a PC, use Control-N. Here I will open a new blend file using the shortcut Command-N. You can open existing .blend files by either clicking on the File button in the Information Editor header and selecting Open, or pressing the keyboard shortcut Command-O, or on a PC, use Control-O. Here I will press Command-O. This opens Blender's file browser and allows you to locate an existing .blend file on your computer or your network. Blender's file browser contains a number of different tools. You can display files as a detail list or as thumbnails. And you can also sort and filter files. Here I will navigate to my desktop Yellow Submarine folder and open the Yellow Submarine complete.blend file by left-clicking on it to select it, and then pressing the Open Blend File button. You can only open one blend file at a time. Make sure that you save any changes to an existing file before opening a second file, as Blender will not, now I repeat this, will not alert you to any unsaved changes when closing a file or opening a different file. You can also open recent files by clicking on the File button in the Information Editor header and selecting Open Recent. This displays a list of recently opened files. Here I will open the example01.blend file. I'll open a new file by pressing Command-N. Note that this file contains the default cube object. To save a file in Blender for the first time, you can press the File button in the Information Editor header and select Save As. This opens Blender's file browser and allows you to save your blend file to a certain location on your computer or network. The shortcut for this is Shift-Command-S, or on a PC, use Shift-Control-S. Here I will press Shift-Command-S. Blender's file browser opens. Now I'm on a Mac computer, but the PC file browser looks quite similar. I strongly urge you to create a folder for each of your Blender file projects and store your blend files, texture files, render files, and animation files for your project in a single folder. As you will see later in this video tutorial, Blender can generate many blend files, and it's very important to keep the files from one project separate from another project. Here I will create a new folder on my desktop called Demo by first navigating to my desktop, clicking on the Create Folder icon, and selecting Create New Folder, and then naming the new folder. Once the folder is created, I will click on the folder name so that I can save my Blender file to it. Note that the path indicates that the file to be saved will be saved in the Demo directory. I'll type in the name for the file in the File Name box. Here I will name the file Saving Demo. I do not need to add a file extension. I'll press on the Save as Blender File button twice, once to set the file name and once to save the file. This returns me to my Blender scene. Note that the file name Saving Demo is now located at the top of the Blender application. This is the only indication Blender gives you to let you know what file you are working on. Now we'll add a UV sphere to my scene. To save a Blender file, once it has been initially saved, you can either press the File button on the Information Editor header and select Save, or you can use the shortcut command, Command-S, or for a PC, Control-S. Here I will press Command-S. Note that a small dialog box opens, alerting me that I am saving this file over an existing file. Left-click on the file path name to confirm the resave of the file. If you do not click on the path name, the file will not be resaved. However, if like this, you click on the File button in the Information Editor and select Save, the file is automatically overwritten without any confirmation dialog box. I'll bring up my computer's file locator and navigate to my demo folder located on my desktop. Now I'm using a Mac here, but a PC equivalent is very similar. Notice that there are two saving demo files listed in the folder, savingdemo.blend and savingdemo.blend1. By default, Blender creates a copy of the existing file each time you resave a file. In Blender, this is called autosave. In this case, when I resaved the saving demo file that contains the cube and the UV sphere objects, Blender made a copy of the original file that contained only the cube object and named it savingdemo.blend1. In essence, this is a form of Blender file versioning. By default, the autosave is set to 2 files. You can set the number of autosaves for a single file in Blender's user preferences. Here I will press the File button on the Information Editor header and select User Preferences. Clicking on the File tab displays Blender's user file preferences. Notice that under Autosave, the default for saving versions is set to 2. Now I suggest that you increase this to at least 10. Now I'm not going to press the Save as Default because Blender will save the whole current scene, which contains the UV sphere and cube objects, as the default new file. Instead, I'll open a new file by pressing Command N. Go to File User Preferences and set the autosave to 10. Then I'll press Save as Default. Now Blender will save at least 10 versions of each blend file I resave. Now this makes it all the more important to create a folder for each of your Blender projects, as each project will consist of multiple autosave files. I'll open the saving demo file from my recent files list. Here I will add a tube object to my scene. I'll then resave it by pressing Command S and then confirm the save by clicking on the path name. I'll then add a torus object to my scene. I'll then resave it by pressing Command S and then confirm the save by clicking on the path name. I'll then open my demo folder. Notice that there are now 4 files here. The .blend file is the current scene with the 4 objects. The blend1 file is a file I saved containing 3 objects. The blend2 file is the file I saved containing 2 objects. And the blend3 file is the file I saved containing 1 object. Note that Blender renames the autosave files so that the lowest number is the most recent. Now you cannot open a .blend1, 2, or 3, or 4 file directly into Blender. You must first change the file extension to .blend. For instance, here I will change the name of the savingdemo.blend2 file to savingdemox.blend file by renaming it. Now on a Mac I have to do this via the File Info tool, but on a PC you could just right-click the file and rename it. Now this should now be the file that contains just the UV sphere and the cube. I'll go to File Open and open the savingdemox.blend file. It indeed does contain the UV sphere and the cube objects. Now as your models become more complex, you'll discover that Blender's autosave function is an extremely important time-saving tool.